So after the Bears game on Monday morning, the ESPN was like, "Can anyone stop the Dolphins' offense?" And I'm like, "Did you guys not watch that game? Their offense put up 28 points. The Bears' offense put up 33 points. The Bears' offense beat their offense. They only won because they had a special teams touchdown. Like Bears outscored their offense. So why are you saying, oh, the Dolphins' offense is unstoppable? They only scored 28 points. The Bears' offense scored 33. What? I don't know if you guys were watching the same game I was.
Yeah, not to mention it's like scoring against the Bears offense. It's like, really? That's the standard these days? It's like, dude. Fuck.
He scored 32, Kevin.
32? I thought it was 33. 35.
32.
Oh, whatever. It's 32
Field
points.
goal would have tied it.
Yeah, so there.
Down points.
But either way, so 32 points.
Points now.
So. I'm just saying, like, how dumb is it that they're like, oh, can anybody stop the Dolphins' offense? Bears came up with 2 key stops to keep them in that game.
Yeah. Submitted defense, no less.
Yeah.
So stop the Dolphins' offense. It's like.
It's like I don't know who pointed it out too. The other thing that like people are pointing out, like the teams that like Philly have beat, and the fact that they're struggling.
Right. Yeah. I saw a meme that pointed out the 11-0 Pittsburgh Steelers are like, this is this year's Philadelphia Eagles. Like, yeah.
Hey, let's talk about last week for League Pick'em first here. So, hey, Kamish, you got what are the stats in last year's League Pick'em?
Well, last week's League Pick'em, Stan led the way with 4 right picks. I was right behind him with 3. Then Grody and Boss with 2 each, and JV, you only got 1 right.
One.
And it wasn't even you.
No, no.
We all got 7-1 my shin bus right. We all got It's Science wrong, and we all got Eric wrong.
Oh.
Stan was the only one that got Boss right. JV, again, you were the only one that got yourself wrong. Everybody else picked Black Lavender, and myself and Stan. Just kudos to us both for picking him to beat me. I enjoy the faith that you guys had in me, but yeah, the right pick was Stan.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly,
then.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You take Joe Mixon out of this, or even just an average game by Joe Mixon, and he loses.
Yeah.
Like his damn near 60 points. Like,
Stan said it himself. It's like it's Joe Mixon versus Joe's team.
right.
That's pretty much what it came down to.
So with that, let's see. Kevin is still in the lead with 30 points. Stan has jumped up to second place with you, JV, at 29 each. I'm right behind with 28, and Boss bringing up the rear with 23.
Oh. Civic Cup's on there too, technically. He's perfect score. He's 9 for 9. What? Oh no, wins loss, win loss. Oh darn it. Okay. I got you with that there. All right. That's all the points with that one with it there. That's all the point score. Let's move on to week 10. Grody, let's have you talk about game 1, 7-1 versus Meerscat.
Yeah. Guessing Tony has not decided to find a quarterback anywhere else. Still riding the Brady train. It's finally
the Brady train.
Well, I'm just saying.
Lawrence on the bench.
Yeah. As I say, he's had 2 30-point games and then 2 games finally these last 2 weeks above 20. So he has not been doing anything spectacular. And I definitely got to say, going against Seattle, he's probably definitely going to have to throw the ball. So, I mean, that might be a good point. Playing in Germany, too, so I don't know how that's going to affect them. But obviously, Joe's got Mike Evans, so most of the touchdowns are probably going to, if there is any touchdowns, are going to go to him. The only touchdown he threw the other day was to a tight end. Let's see. Hill's going crazy this year, so I'm pretty sure he's probably going to get those 20 points. The running backs
Going crazy. Let's not make fun of it too bad.
I like this. Joe has Hines on Buffalo going up against Singletary on Buffalo.
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
Excellent.
I'm probably hopefully this will be a bounce back week for KC. I think he might start Edwards-Helaire. Hopefully they can actually run the ball this game. Bold move, starting 3 guys on a bye, Joe. It's bold.
I only have 2. What are you talking about?
You got Duvernay, your kicker, and your defense.
Oh, no. I took Duvernay out. I put in Christian Kirk.
Oh.
I adjusted that moments
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to see what kind of bullshit I was in for to have to do either tonight or tomorrow morning.
Yeah. But the only thing I don't like about Tony's is he's got Jacksonville defense going up against KC. So I'm pretty sure there's probably gonna be some defensive changes here. Joe's got Kelsey. He's got Schultz. I mean, he's been back. Has he done anything? No, he's had pretty much an 8-point game. So I don't know how much they're gonna need him against Green Bay. They might be big up in that game, and they might be running the ball. So yeah, I mean, I gotta wait to see what Joe picks up and where it goes. But right now, with the way it's set up, I'm picking 7-1. Could change depending on what Joe's final lineup does look like with the additions.
He's 7-1. Tyreek Hill has been on an up, but you look at that roller coaster. He's ready for a down, and no better down than being further down than Cleveland. I'm going to Mish on this one here. I think Hill will beat 7-1's downfall with that. Mish, your thoughts?
I'm going to go ahead and pick Anthony. It just, it's not that I don't have any faith in my team. It's that I can't seem to pick the right goddamn wide receiver to put in at the right time. So that I think will be my downfall. Plus running backs, and I'm not going to trade for one. Not with the state of my team.
Yeah.
Hey, if I had a couple more wins, I'd look to trade for a running back, but I'm not going to give up picks for a running back now.
Icehouse, your thoughts?
Have faith in you, Joe. So
Ooh, it's a 2.
Why would you have faith in me? That's so silly.
what are you doing, man? Come
Whoa.
on.
Hey, come on, man. Come on. Help a brother out.
I just want to see Tony fail.
Listen, I'm not saying that it's I'm not going to try. Of course I'm going to try.
I trust you to give it your best. So
I've had some good luck with I've had some good luck doing the defensive carousel. Obviously, New England this past weekend getting 41 fucking points really helped me. Otherwise, I'd have had no chance in that game.
All right. Next is me. I get the auto draft all stars against the 2 Kidder Quitter. I want everyone to raise a glass now to Las Vegas for Dave for picking up Derek Carr. Congratulations, Dave. You are Vegas. I was so happy to see that. I stopped everything that I was doing. I was like, this has happened here. All right, so Derek Carr versus Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is normally yucky, but it's Detroit. Or no, it's Dallas. Never mind. He'll be yucky. Okay, St. Brown versus Adam. He's Las Vegas, man. He's got wide receiver combo with his quarterback. That's pretty good. St. Brown, though, is a thing against, well, a lot of folks with that there. It's not going to work. Moore versus Tony. It's a good matchup on both sides. I think they'll both get those points. Jones. Is Jones playing? Is the question. That's a hit on auto draft that he probably
you.
Is he playing?
They won't know yet. It's gonna Wait till they hit the practice field.
Yeah, that one we can't.
I'm going to say that they may rest him against Dallas. Oh, they may need him though against Dallas. Oh boy, so he might play, but oh gosh, I hope he doesn't get further injured with that. Walker, Texas Ranger on Seattle is just doing amazing with that. Yeah, White versus Jacobs. Even Steven there. Well, no, it's not even Steven. Really? Jacobs is 15 points projected against Indianapolis? Get the hell out of here. Whoa. Okay. He has kind of been a thing at times. That could actually happen with that. Ertz Johnson? Both of them could get those points, I think. Pierce Robinson? Those could get those points as well. Auto draft needs a kicker. It's nothing bad there. Tampa Bay on a UK game with Seattle.
Germany game.
Is a what?
It's a Germany game. They're in Germany.
Oh, I didn't know that. The Germans might have a question about the Tampa Bay. New Orleans against Pittsburgh. I wanted to take an honest look, and there is. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott might be able to fill in somewhere. I got to go 2 kid or quitter. I think overall the Vegas going up against the poor Indianapolis team right now. I think that's going to be his advantage if he can get some points evenly scored between all of his team members there. Kamish, your thoughts?
Well, I'm gonna have to go with Dave on this one. I just don't see any upside to what Andrew's got on the bench, and he's got to make too many moves, and there's just not enough out there. And sadly, he's not one to actually reach out and actually, I mean, he might, but I mean, he's not one to prolifically reach out and aim for trades with people. Meanwhile, I think it's funny. Like Dave's sitting in 6th place at 5-4, and he's not in a bad spot, but he's got 5 running backs, all of which are worth trading.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of them have bye weeks left.
Herbert does.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, Herbert, I know. But I mean, like, trade them. Trade not all of them, but at most
I've
you need
offered to
3.
trade Dave for Herbert. I have offered trades to him. I want Chase and Herbert,
I'm
and
saying,
he hasn't
yeah,
accepted.
I know you've offered trades, but I mean, he can take a look around and say, "Hey, I don't have shit for this. Like, I need this." Like, I'm surprised nobody anybody that doesn't have a tight end getting them 10 points a week. No one's reached out to me and my abysmal team for Kelsey, like, at all. Like, yeah, I'm not exactly going to say, "Oh yeah, I'll just give them to you for a running back and some low pick or whatever." But at the same time, like, I was looking at Dave's team, and at the time, I think it was a couple weeks ago. I don't know what his streak is at, but I think he was better off than he is now. Yeah, he was
last week when he picked up trash off the waiver pile.
I'm amazed that he has not offered anything.
Yeah. Maybe he thinks there's hope there. All right. Ice House?
It's not a matter of hope. I mean, it's you're stuck with 2 players on your bench at all times that cannot do anything for you.
Yeah,
And you have, and by the skin of your teeth, you've managed to get 5 wins.
Yeah.
It's a pretty middling league this year. There's no dominant team. No one's
No.
away with anything.
Which is good.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Barry's team started off that way and then fizzled.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going with Dave though. Yeah, I agree with everything Joe's saying. It's like I don't think Bates is just not enough for Bates. Bates ain't gonna find enough to do anything, and not enough out there for him to do anything. So it sounds good to me this week.
All right, Grody.
Yeah, I'm taking Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders for Grody. Landslide there for Dave with that. All right, Kamish, you get to talk about Blavender versus Sippy Cup in the Battle of the Brothers.
Well, that's right. It is rivalry week. Tommy versus Desmond. Desmond with the Patrick Mahomes. Tommy with Justin Fields. Justin Fields is he's putting up numbers. I really wish Dave was on here for this because he was giving me that big stink about Fields over my thoughts on Fields over Rodgers this year, and I don't know the number totals, but just glancing at Fields' totals of the only week he had 1 week under 10, and he's had 4 weeks under 20. Otherwise, the last 2, 4, 5 weeks in a row, he's been north of 20 points.
52 points. 52 points.
And I'm not saying he's going to put up 52 again, but given Detroit's inability to, very much the same as the Bears defense, stop people from scoring, this looks like a good matchup for Fields to, again, bank some points for fantasy players that are using him. Obviously, Cooper Kupp versus DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins, I don't think has really. No, yeah, he had one good game against Minnesota when he needed to, and they lost. Otherwise, against New Orleans when he first came back, he put up Bubkiss, and then Seattle shut him down for 10 points. So if the Rams have any chance of winning that game, they're going to need to do that to him. Woods and Judy. Woods on Tennessee is a fucking joke, along with any other wide receiver. I watched a lot of that game against, Kansas City. And passing even with Tannehill, passing has been was a joke on that team. But of course, on the other side, you've got Jerry Judy, and again, like passing's been a joke for Denver. So 2 washes right there. Although I would give the upside more to Judy than Woods. You've got Fournette versus Montgomery. I favor Montgomery in that matchup because Fournette has just been. Tampa Bay's been non-existent in their offensive output, apart from Brady, who before last week was second in total yards, or not total passing yards, and yet they've got nothing to show for it in terms of their record. Henry versus Mostert, that goes the other way. Henry's going to more than likely get those yards against Denver. We've got a Higbee versus a bye week, which let's see if anybody on the bench. No, so he'll have to pick up a rental for the week. And then you've got Kareem Hunt and Patterson. And Patterson out for a while, came back last week, and boom, 18, almost 19 points. So Patterson's going to do what he does best, which is score points for his fantasy owners. And Kareem Hunt, what have you done all year? I haven't. Yeah, you've had 2 games above 10, so not much stock there. Kickers, dueling kickers. This should be interesting, especially in Germany. We'll see. We'll see which inept. We'll see which offense is more inept. I mean, this might favor Black Lavender, because Suck Up, if the offense fizzles, he'll be getting more points than if he was kicking extra points, versus Myers if they score touchdowns. So, and then defensively, I don't know that I would trust Arizona against the Rams. Not necessarily. I mean, just from the pure point that LA is not scoring, it's a good matchup. But they're not exactly, this year their defense is not. I mean, they've got some pretty solid output, so maybe. Versus Denver against Tennessee, I don't trust that at all. I'm sure. He's got Kansas City against Jacksonville, so there we go. That goes in. So, yeah. I don't know. I think I want to lean Tommy on this. Oh, he's got Christian McCaffrey on the bench for San Fran. He's coming in. Fuck off, Mostert. Never mind. He also has 2 other QBs on his bench. Tommy, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm picking you.
That's man. You, Joe, if this was around the horn, you
I
have
mean,
scored like 13 points on that one there.
don't get me wrong. Like McCaffrey was on a bye week. I'm sure that's why he was on the bench. So, but and you don't want to make too many drastic moves when it's bye week. You want to do the bare minimum just to be able to get through the week. So we'll see going forward what happens.
Yeah, see, now only if Tommy had the ability to join, because I'd be telling him right now, Tommy, you have a tight end problem and a running back problem. Joe has a tight end that he doesn't need anymore because he thinks he's going nowhere. Why aren't you making a running back tight end trade right now for Travis Kelce? And then Tommy, at that point, I think if he were to reach out to Joe and trade Joe a running back for Kelce and probably a high pick, Tommy becomes probably the favorite to win the league at that point with Christian McCaffrey, Kupp, and whichever running back he gets rid of. He can get rid of Montgomery or Mostert to Joe and pick up Kelce. I mean, and then Tommy's unstoppable.
Wait a minute. Let's not let Sippy pick up Kelsey before I offer the commission trade to pick up Kelsey. Let's not forget, I am not afraid to trade away my first round pick. I have no qualms with trading it away.
Honestly, I'm super shocked right now. And I mean, I don't know how much Tommy really cares, but like if he did, like he could legit make a trade, give Joe a running back. Joe needs one, and take fucking Travis Kelce off Joe's hands, and then have probably one of the most unstoppable teams.
I see, Commish. I have Pitts, so I would be willing to trade you a tight end, so you wouldn't have to go and pick one up.
Well, I'm not worried about picking up a tight end.
I'm just saying. You have a person for a person of equal, not equal value, but equal position.
Yeah.
What's your record? You're 4-5. Get out of here. You're done. You're just like me. Stick a fork.
No. The peanut does not. Never give up. Never surrender.
You just lost to Desmond, okay?
I did lose to Desmond. That doesn't mean that I want to improve on the awesomeness that I'm doing with that there. Speaking of awesomeness,
You did lose to Desmond, though. I mean,
I did.
This is mid-season, man. I lost to Desmond in week 1.
Wait a freaking minute here. I lost to Desmond because Patrick Mahomes scored over 50 freaking points last week. He did a thing. He did an amazing thing. It was awesome. Brilliant point scorage by Desmond. So,
let's hope you don't vote for you.
Well, I don't think that's reason enough with that. You'll see reason in just a bit here. Ice House, who's your vote against? Which Robinson do you want?
I will take the white one.
The what? The white.
Williams white?
My guy.
Grody, what's your thought?
You're gonna take it, Tommy.
I'm going with this. I am going to stick on the street.
Sorry to interrupt, but Pritzker declared victory over Bailey.
Fucking amen to that.
WBEZ just has it headed up. Like, oh, thank God.
You don't need that fucking downstate ass back.
No. The I'm a farmer. No, you haven't driven a combine to earn a wage in probably 30 years. You stupid fuck! Get the hell out of here! Like, the billionaire's ruining this state. Yeah, so the multimillionaire, I should vote for you because you're not a billionaire yet. Like, you're on your way.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here, you gas bag piece of shit.
They're both idiots, and I don't mean to hang on to this topic much longer than we have to, but it's like, there was one commercial that drove me fucking nuts. It was like, oh, well, this guy was a political reporter for ABC 7 News for 20 years, and he's like, well, Darren Bailey was a farmer. It's like,
yeah.
That's all you got?
Yeah. The one that. Yeah, I think we should raise a glass of cheers to not having to see political adverts while we're watching football anymore.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Amen to that. And boss, the one that irritated me the most had to be the one where it was just like a bunch of people being like, well, Pritzker didn't do anything. And it's like, what do you mean he didn't do anything? Like, did he do nothing for the last 4 years? Like, he didn't, they just the vaguest bullshit that these morons eat up and then they regurgitate it. It's like, all right, like, can we get past these commercials? The answer is no, because the lowest common denominator will repeat those commercials. And when you challenge them on it, they'll just be like, yeah, but I saw it on TV, so it has to be true. Like, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, look, I'm not saying I'm in love with Pritzker, but of the two choices, one is better.
I was going to say that the only reason why I hate Pritzker is he cost thousands of jobs. He didn't allow for the Star Wars Museum, and then he didn't allow
that wasn't Pritzker.
And then he didn't allow for the Toyota factory down south too.
Pritzker didn't stop the Star Wars Museum.
That was before his time.
That was before his time, and that was the Friends of the Park that fucked that over.
Oh, I thought it was with him.
No, it's the group in Chicago known as Friends of the Park, and they have fucked over any development on the lakefront since they became a thing. Because they want it to be green. Like the last proposed thought that it was for the Lucas Museum was because McCormick Place does not use the east building, which is on the lakefront, all that often. They had offered up that we would allow you to develop the museum on this land, and the Friends of the Park said no. If you're going to give up that space, it's going to be turned into green, like grass, trees. Nothing will be built there, and that was the last proposal that was offered up in terms of where to put the Lucas Museum. And then after that, they said, "Well, goodbye, Chicago. We're going to go to or wherever the fuck in California."
I think, yeah.
So that was the wonderful Friends of the Park that have fucked over any sort of development along any waterfront in Chicago. Some of it worth fighting for, some of it not. I mean, adding a museum to the chain of museums that the city of Chicago has, I think would have been fantastic.
Yep. I didn't know that was them. Well, screw them.
I am cheering again to no more political ads. I don't know who you're all talking about, but I'm cheering to no more political.
I know this for a fact because obviously working at Toyota, they one of our reps came in and they were talking about it. They were in Southern Illinois. I don't know exactly where in Southern Illinois, but they wanted to build a Corolla and a RAV4 factory, and Pritzker pretty much is the one who said no. And I'm like, wow. And like now with the fact that we've had a shortage of cars, one of the things I can say for sure, what's the one places that aren't having shortage of cars? Or factories, or dealerships right next to the factory. There's a dealership in Texas that sold like over 900 trucks because they're right next to the truck factory, and they could just produce them and then sell them right there. So I was like, man, if we would have had that Corolla RAV4 factory down south, we'd probably have more fucking Corollas than RAV4s to sell.
It sucks. I mean, I don't know the deals behind that, but I had no. It's just, I don't know. At the end of the day, just look at Bailey as just a useless.
Yeah, that guy
just doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about anyway.
No, yeah, that would.
I voted for Republican governors in the past. I think it was Rauner I voted for, but it didn't work out either.
So, no, it didn't.
Look, I mean, I'm like, I flip flop as far as the Illinois governors, but.
Yeah, because what was it? It was Dan Quinn, right? Was the option was on the other side against Rauner?
I think so, yeah.
But Quinn was like because what's his face? Blagojevich got taken out.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, like, and then Quinn was just. And Quinn was just like, well, like, I'm here because of happenstance. It's like, all right, well, that's not enough of a reason to vote for you, dude. Like.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, well, then fuck you. So let's try this time.
It's like Jeff Saturday now being the interim coach for the Indianapolis Colts. Like, it's not to say that regardless of what he does for the rest of the year should warrant him being head coach, but if he's sort of just there on the sideline doing, like, I'm there, it's not enough for me to say, oh yeah, he definitely should be the next head coach. Now he goes on to make changes, does stuff to the lineups, and makes improvements for the team by all means. like consider him for head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. But otherwise, it's like, oh, so and so is the interim head coach of this team because Schmucko got fired. Like, well, let's hope he does something. Look, could you imagine if Jeff Saturday, I don't know I think he was offensive coordinator?
At a high school.
Yeah, he was like at a high school team.
Mm-hmm.
And
all right.
Again, I didn't even pay much attention to it because I didn't.
Okay, I didn't know. I thought maybe he was on the Colts already. So I was thinking, like, could you imagine?
Kaiser at best.
Okay, I was thinking because could you imagine being like not necessarily the offensive coordinator, but let's say you are, or defensive coordinator for that matter, one of the coordinators, and you're really good, and you love what you're doing, and then the head coach is terrible and he gets fired, and they come to you and they're like, we want to make you interim head coach, and you're just like, no, I just want to do this thing. Like, and that's why they're like, hey, Jeff Saturday, come on down, buddy. We got these two coordinators that just want to do their job.
Yeah,
And
Yeah, so here's the best one. Well, he makes the offensive Saturday, obviously, no one knows, it's like, okay, they all know him in Indy.
Right.
Then he announced his offensive play caller. Saturday said, he came on, what was it? He called like some fucking nobody.
Probably. Yeah, the other I forget what the other coach they mentioned, but the other coach on staff that they could have potentially done was John Fox, and I don't think they want that.
It's a no-go.
Like, not even, to be honest, not even as an interim. Like, it'd be temporary. No, that's okay. We'll pass. Thank you, sir.
Like when I heard that it was John Fox, I was like, okay, it makes a little bit more sense that they're like, hey, Jeff Saturday, you just want to break away from ESPN and just come be a coach for like 9 weeks. He has to pay you, which is great.
Colts name coach who's never called plays in his career as their new offensive coordinator. Don't know what. It was like
Seems legit.
Pick some guy. Yeah, literally never called a plays in his career. It's like, here you go.
Well, he had to
Colts are
say
on the up and
something
up.
to impress him.
So now they're just like, well, if it doesn't work out, well, you can't blame us, is what the ownership is saying.
Yep.
But we'll just blame these two, Jeff Saturday, and it's like, whoever the fuck he calls, and we can fire them both and just wipe with a clean slate. Not feel bad as owners.
You got to figure at this point, right? Like the fan base that is at least paying attention has got to understand, like, all right, they fired the head coach, they put this guy in charge. But once they fired the head coach, you had to know that because the season's already in the toilet, that the rest of the year is going nowhere. So it doesn't matter who's in charge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to. Like, if Eberflus was god awful and the Bears had not won a game and they fired him, I'd be like, I don't care who's coming next because it doesn't matter. We've lost every single game. We're terrible. Like, nothing matters at this point. It's just going to be a shit show. Like,
I mean, hey, maybe it'll work out. I don't know.
Right. Like, and it could. Could be fun times.
Does it work out? Who cares?
It's like the first year that Rossi was the manager of the Cubs. Like, they had fun.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like, well, this is a real thing, right?
I'm shocked that they're still keeping it.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Better than pay the penalty for ending his contract early.
That's true. Back to the pick'em.
Yes.
I'm picking Blavender. He's won his last 5 weeks, including against me. I'm going to be contrarian here. See what happens.
Lose out on that pick. I like it. Enjoy it.
I want to pick the guy that beat me.
Yeah. Well, he's beat you, too. So, let's go on to fourth week here.
To win.
Fourth week, Ice House. You get Grody versus Scriptum.
What's going on with Josh Allen? Do we know anything definitive?
He's got a robot. He's got a robot arm now.
We're still evaluating, is all I've heard.
Freaking Megatron.
He is currently, I believe, under evaluation. There's no There's no
He
update.
doesn't have another quarterback on the roster, but there's plenty to pick up, I'm sure. So I'm not
Absolutely.
calling that a meh.
Call it a game time decision.
So it's very keeping Isaiah McKenzie. It's like, well, that's not going to be great for him.
Hey, listen, they got Case Keenum as their backup in Buffalo.
Ooh.
And he doesn't have a backup kicker.
You want to get a real backup, you got to get Chase Daniel.
Yeah.
There's
That's
a-
where dude. He was Joe Kamish is getting
That was
all of the points.
So he was literally the backup to somebody. I forgot.
Jared Goff from Detroit.
Wait, is Chase Daniel really still a backup?
Yeah, in Detroit.
I mean,
Oh
he
my
was
God.
starting games and somehow still backing up himself.
He's still making money. Fucking good for him.
That's what I say to anybody. It's fucking good gig if you can get it, man.
Hey, here's the thing we need to teach. We need to teach our children. Listen, it's very obvious that you're not the best. So what you need to be is second best, and so good at it that you just stay second best for your entire career.
You just need to be good for like last 6 games of a college team's
Charger.
senior year, and
Chase
boom.
Daniels back up to Herbert.
Oh, he's in charge. He's with the Chargers now.
He's a Charger back up to the Herbert. Oh, ooh.
Even better.
There's a lot going on here, and there's too many injuries, and who knows is what sits and what's happening. So I'm just gonna straight up pick Grody and say whatever. There's a lot of injury and different pieces happening with Taylor and everything. So I'll just cut it short and say, Grody, I got your back on this one.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Grody, what do you got?
I'm gonna pick myself again, even though I picked myself last week and lost.
This is Scriptum. I had a small conversation with Scriptum yesterday, or no, Sunday night. And Scriptum was going, man, no matter what I do, I cannot manage to avoid this sweater. I am just angling straight forward. And Barry made the comment yesterday, is this because that I gave you the sweater to hang on to? And Eric is currently has that in mind. So Scriptum, you might be jinxed. Better do something with that sweater, picking Grody.
It's in my
Mish?
house.
Is that your house?
Yes.
Oh, so did Eric give it to you?
Yeah, Eric, when I went to the baptism and became godfather of his child, he handed it to me, and he also paid me this year's entry fee and last year's move money, which I got to tell Stan, he still owes me $20 for move money from last year.
Yeah.
He's
no African wampum dollars either.
No, he had texted me about it, and I was at work, and I said, I got it at home. I'll text you later, and then I forgot about it. Because he had asked me about league fee, and I told him, and he was like, all right. And I'm like, I'm not worried about last year's money, but yeah, I'm going to take Grody in this one. I feel like Jalen Hurts is the only shining star on that other's team, and that's not enough.
You go back up to the top of the list here, Grody. You could talk about Ice House versus Skins, the battle of brotherly love.
Brother versus brother. Right now, one brother has a bunch of bye week people, and people that are just scoring low points. I'm gonna take Boss purely because even with whatever Stan has on his bench, I don't think is enough to help him get over this bye week hump. And yeah, the matchups from quarterback on down favor the Boston Lios, especially with Tony Pollard. I think with the Dallas going to be up big against Green Bay, Tony Pollard's going to be in there to get some garbage time points.
When he's not, like, even when they're not up, Tony Pollard gets his, man.
Oh, I know. And then the other thing that I like what Bus got going for him is Dallas Goedert. I think these last few weeks, I mean, I know he's just done subpar most of the year, but I think he's coming on, and I think in a divisional game, I think he might be key And then I like Amari Cooper against Cleveland in Miami. I mean, clearly the Bears were able to move the ball. I think that even the Cleveland Browns will be able to move the ball. So if he's gonna do anything, it's now, and it's a good game for him to get points. So yeah, I like Boston this matchup. I just think there's just not enough filler for Stan to overcome. I mean, without Mixon, you're starting Najee Harris, who hasn't been great all year. Benjamin is now essentially the backup with Connor back. So he hasn't done that good in the last 2 weeks, anyways. Henderson's done nothing all year. The Rams can't run the ball. All they can do is pass. And then even if he finds a tight end, I don't know what tight end that's going to be. So
How many people are looking for tight ends?
everybody,
a lot.
Not me.
I've heard
Not me.
Not Joe, yeah.
Hang on to them. Hang on. The first round pick possibly coming.
Not Joe if Tommy reaches out with a running back trade.
Not
Oh,
if
no,
I
I
give
will
him a
if Tommy
running back, a
reaches out
tight
for a
end,
trade.
and a first round pick.
If Tommy reaches out for a trade, I'm definitely looking for a tight end.
Tommy, if somehow you're watching this, trade a running back to Joe. He'll take Mostert or Montgomery, whichever one, and then just give him a really good pick.
I will pick Icehouse because I agree. I think Herbert passing to Eckler with Williams being out, I think is a good deal. Commish?
Yeah, all signs point to Icehouse. Sorry, Stan, but it's
You
too
stink.
much to overcome.
Icehouse.
No, I wanted to pick myself for the last 2 weeks, and I won the last 2 weeks, so I'm going to actually pick myself this week. And I hope it doesn't fucking fail. This failed, then my whole thing is for shit.
Then you got to restart your strategy.
It's like
Yeah.
if I lose Stan this week, it's like, God damn it, it's all gone to hell. I can just never play that game against picking myself, or picking against myself, because I'd be really fucking pissed.
All right. Commish, Icehouse, Grody. Let's sift through the garbage pile of this next game here. It's Peanut
Jesus
versus
Christ, why?
Science.
Is
Why,
anybody
no.
Does
picking
anyone have
the
any
Peanuts?
reason to pick me besides me?
No.
No.
Oh, it's amazing.
John, if I were you, I wouldn't even pick myself because, how could you? You're wasting a point.
You can't even pick
There's-
yourself, dude. It's over.
There is not enough for you.
You draft a team like that just
You would
Yeah.
literally make
yes.
like you need like another running back, and you have one wide receiver on your bench, which is Debo if he plays. But yeah, you need another running back, a defense, a kicker. You got Miami against Buffalo.
That's
Yeah, that's a good.
defense.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
God,
Wow.
the team is the dumpster fire it should be.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Barry,
In
he gets
a week where he needs a win, he's going to lose.
Uh,
It's
You know what, Joe? If you trade him Travis Kelce and you get his first round pick and you get Kyle Pitts, he'll win then for sure. Because then his points will go from 32 to 38.
John needs to make more than one trade.
oh yeah. Yeah.
John, trade me for my team, and I'll trade it back to you next week.
Oh no, that's not how it works. Yeah. So I am almost about to break tradition. I'm looking at my team seriously right now, so I can put Chubb in as a running back. If Joe trades me Kelsey,
John,
I have a better tight end.
Adjust your lineup to just have these players, even if you don't stick with them, just put them in so we can see. I mean, you can't with Deebo Samuel because he's in an IR spot, so you can't take him off unless you put somebody else in IR. But just adjust it so I can at least get a better picture of how many points you are behind, because Chubb goes in, there's 17. Sutton goes in, and even though he's not going to get 9, there's 9. But yeah, you need a running back, a kicker, and a defense.
Okay,
I mean, the defense is more a swap.
I just adjusted it here, so you can have a little bit of a better look with that. So kicker and defense, I will probably be picking up. Well, I will be picking up here.
He doubled his points.
Yeah,
He said 58.8.
Thank you, Chubb.
You went from 32 to almost 58.8. Wow.
So I need a quarterback, I need a running back, I need a kicker, and a defense. So that's what I need.
4 spots. That's a tall order. That is
but a tall order is what I represent. A vote for Peanut is a vote for a win. I'm going to keep this lousy tradition alive, even if it kills me.
Yeah, so the guy who's no longer in first place because of his poor picks.
Yes.
I think the other thing too is the only hope he's got is that I know Tua's out there, and I think he's at like 28 points, so it's going to give him 24, which would put him at least in the 80s. So he's still down by 20 points. So it's like that's a lot to overcome. 20 points.
Yeah, that's
like
if he gets Tua. Who knows who else is going to buy for a quarterback?
I do have the first waiver pick.
Tommy's got 3 quarterbacks.
I do have the first waiver pick too. So that's kind of nice. All right.
Yeah, but that's only one person you can pick up with that. You're not getting anybody else.
Yeah, you're not getting running back. That's for sure.
Because once you use your waiver, you drop to 12, and after that, you're waiting.
Yeah. You could just play like Charlie from It's Always Sunny and be like, wild card, bitches! Just grab a guy I don't fucking need.
Oh, I forgot to put in my defense. Oh, there we go. Wait, I've got 7 more points, guys. Guys, I got 7 more points. See? I can do it. Yay, mustard cut. Yeah, I need a new defense too. God, I don't want to dump the Jets though, so I probably have to dump Minnesota with that. Yeah. All right. That. Joe wins around the horn easily with that one there. I've been clicking the points button here